All right, we're just going to see what happens here, ladies and gentlemen. Check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2. This is Jeff Cavanaugh attempting to go live from his hotel room in San Francisco. The room is about 7 foot by 7 foot. I'm currently sitting cross-legged on my bed. Couldn't figure out another way to do this. We will have no Bryan Broaddus today. Just got off the phone with him. Radio Row gets a little bit crazy. He has to go over there to do some stuff with their morning show. He's not going to be here today. And so I'm just going to knock out some quick stuff and see if you guys have anything you want to talk about and tell me, does this stream even work from my hotel room? That's the thing that matters. So you guys let me know. We hired a D-line coach, Dallas Cowboys Nation, and that's nice. That's nice. Marcus Dixon is going to be the defensive line coach. You guys have probably seen that on the internet. He was with Christian Parker in Denver. He's been with the Minnesota Vikings the last couple of years. And we like it. I like everything about what the Cowboys have done with their coaching staff this offseason. It is just clearly being done by the actual coaching staff, and we like that. This isn't Jerry Jones' old buddies. This isn't anybody else's old buddies. There may be an element of people who know people through other people, but in this case, at least it's a collection of people that it seems like are some of the best in the business, and so we appreciate that. All right, waiting on the chat to tell me, is this even working? I have no idea if my Wi-Fi is good enough for this to actually be a stream. And so I don't even know why I hit the go live button, to be honest, but I was going to try it. I was going to see what happened. And so this is what we got. We got Jeff in a hotel room talking about Marcus Dixon being the next piece of the Cowboys defensive line. Check. Sounds great. Working. That's what I'm talking about. What is your confidence that Jerry will open up the checkbook? My confidence that Jerry will open up the checkbook is low. Low-ish. Let's go low-ish. Jerry opening the checkbook. I think we have a shot at it. We have a shot at it, but it all goes back to I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. Whether it's that he realizes he made a giant mistake right before this last season started, or whether it's he's desperate to prove that he didn't make a giant mistake right before this last season started. Either one of those things gives us a shot at it. The fact that he said it out loud, but Jerry says lots of stuff out loud that doesn't end up coming true. So like the fact that he said, well, because we don't have Micah, we can keep George and we can sign all of these different people. Like that math doesn't math the words that he said, but he did say it. And it is true that they could afford to sign whatever they need to. And obviously this team needs to do a lot before draft time if you want to be able to draft this thing clean and if you want to have an actual chance to be competitive. Bryce is in the super chat, and I appreciate you, Bryce. If the draft works out like DJ's mock, how would you feel about Terrell at 12 and Tiananmen at 20? Just get me some ball players. So I watched the safeties the other day, at least the top 5 or 6 of them. And AJ Terrell at 12 seems early, but you could probably talk me into it. The Oregon safety, Tiananmen at 20 seems early. Maybe you could talk me into it. I might actually like the LSU safety Halsey better than the Oregon guy, but maybe I shouldn't because it's 2026, and I think Tiananmen might be a better if you find yourself in like a man coverage situation, just a better change of direction, mirror cover guy, but I also like safeties that are enforcers. And the LSU dude, if you come across the middle, you're going to pay for it. And he's got a history of ball production too. There's not really a safety I love at 20. Maybe the small school guy. Where's my names? McNeil Warren, the Toledo safety. Maybe him at 20. He's a combination of all the things you want in a safety. He can play man coverage. He can cover a deep half, a deep third, play single high. He can play the box. He'll line up on the edge. Maybe that's the safety that you should be talking about as potentially a pick at 20 overall for the Cowboys. I think that's possible. Ryan always wants a mock draft. I mean, I could pull up a simulator. I could do it. Josh is in the super chat, or not in the super chat, just in the chat. He said, would you rather one star defensive player or 3 quality starters on defense? Well, we need both, don't we? Like if there's 3 quality starters that you add to what you already have, who do you need them to be? One of them's got to be a pass rusher. One of them's got to be a corner. One of them's got to be a linebacker. So if I had 3 quality players, I still got Quinnen in the middle. I'm still counting on like a bounce back from Deron Bland, Savone Revel in year 2 to be a good player, a bounce back from Malik Hooker. I'm counting on so many things. So maybe what we're really counting on is the fact that I just said I like the defensive coaching hires that they've made. We're counting on that. And it's a tough thing to count on, but I will say this. It worked out last year in that way. I think a lot of the stuff that they did offensively that worked out was because they hired Clayton Adams as their offensive coordinator. I think some of Javonte Williams' success is owed to that. So coaching obviously can make a difference. And if we're right that this hiring cycle is going the right way as opposed to the standard Cowboy way, then part of what we're going to depend on is that Marcus Dixon can help out with some of your defensive linemen, and that Christian Parker can help out with some of what's going on in the back end. Would I rather have a star or 3 quality starters? It depends who the star is, how big a star, and what position he plays, I guess. Because I know I'm not allowed to say this. But if you could just put Micah's other leg back on and you're telling me I could add that, I'd take that over 3 quality starters. We've seen it. We've seen the difference in the Cowboys defense with that guy out there with basically the same accumulation of guys that was just the worst defense in the entire NFL. Corey has a question on Facebook. He said, how do you feel about the cornerback Pons at Indiana? I like him. I think he could step in and be your nickel. He's a little guy, but he's super competitive. He's a super good player. I like Pons a good amount. He might be like cornerback 5 or 6 for me in this draft class. So I do like him. He has the same thing on tape that a lot of guys have. Like Jermod McCoy from Tennessee didn't play college football this year, had a torn ACL. He's 12 months removed from it. Maybe the best corner in this class. Maybe. He did play against Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State at one point. And if you watch that, you'd be like, he's not as good as I thought. Watch Indiana against Ohio State and some of those reps against Jeremiah Smith, you go, might not be as good as I thought. But that's probably his coach's fault, the way that they were asking him to play. I like D'Angelo Pons. I like the cornerback class in general. I think there's a lot of really nice corner. I think there's a bunch of depth at corner. But, of course, we don't have a second-round pick. So I think ultimately what I'm looking for in this draft is probably captain trade down to ride. I think you want to trade down at some point. I don't know if it's at 12 or at 20. If it's at 12 and Sonny Styles is available, pick him. If it's at 12 and you find some sort of wipeout situation, and you can find a way to move down without just getting absolutely run over in value, I'd love to have some more picks. 12 and 20 might get a little wonky on me in terms of the value of what I'm getting and who I'm picking at those spots. But if I could parlay that into another pick or another couple of picks, that'd be nice. That'd be nice. Hood W. Cush is in the super chat. Why Chill got to be so damn messy? Clarence Hill is a national treasure. I'm going to tell you, hold on, I got to readjust. I'm old, though. It's tough. Okay. Why Chill got to be so damn messy? Clarence Hill is amazing. We're in San Francisco right now. Our show yesterday, it was going to be, well, there's not really Cowboy news. And so, I don't know. We'll figure out how to do the show. And then Clarence runs over to the Pro Bowl practice and gets exclusive interviews with Dak Prescott, George Pickens, Micah Parsons, and CeeDee Lamb photobombs one of it. Clarence Hill is a freaking monster. He's amazing. And I think that version of messy was necessary. If you're talking to George and Micah Parsons walks up into the shot, how do you not mention it? I thought that was genius. We joke about being messy, but we're only half messy on our show. If we're being messy, it's usually lighthearted and funny, I think. Not real mess. Y'all stop trying to turn on Clarence. Clarence is the greatest beat writer in the history of the Cowboys. Dylan Tieneman at 20. Somebody must have floated this. I'm getting multiple questions. That seems early to me, but this has got to be coming from somewhere. And I'm sorry, I don't take in enough media, so I must have missed whoever floated this idea. Safety is deep in this draft. It looks that way too. The fact that you guys are dropping a mic interview today is great. Dude just wanted to be a Cowboy and Jerry messed it up. I think you can kind of tell by the fact that he just wants to fart around with Dak and CD and Pickens. Yes, Micah wishes he was still a Cowboy. Yeah. And maybe there's a different world where I'll never be the guy that tells a player to take less. Get your value. And I would say that for literally every one of you watching. Your employer, doesn't care about you all that much, I promise. If they can find someone to do your job for cheaper, they're going to. If they can give you the smallest raise possible, they will. So you're never going to catch me being like, take less guy to any of these players. But I wonder if Micah wishes he'd have been like, look, David, I don't need to maximize it. Just get me something done here. I do think he wants to be here still. I do think so. Okay, Bryan floated it on his show with Vach. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't love it. I don't think that Tiedemann, if I'm even saying it right, I don't think he'll be my best player available at 20. I would say that. And I like him. I think he's a nice player. And your agent really doesn't care about you ruining the relationship with your team. That's true. It is true. It does go both ways. But, you are in a system where I'm just a believer in letting professionals do what they do. The people in charge of giving you those contracts would be happy to screw you over in a heartbeat. So hire you a good professional who knows what he's doing and maximize your value. I believe in it. Any word on Zach Orr? We'll find out in an hour or two? When is my show out here? We'll find out in a little bit when I talk to Clarence, because he's the greatest beat writer in the history of the Cowboys. Mr. Cush is back. He said Micah did look like a lost puppy, though. Didn't he? Texas Trail. I don't know if this is a shot fired. I love small YouTube channel. Is this a small YouTube channel? I guess it is. It's a small YouTube channel. This is great production value, isn't it? Jeff in a hotel room holding his mic, handheld. I hope people in the rooms around me aren't mad that I'm being loud. It is 6 a.m. out here. I should probably shut up, huh? Did you make sure Clarence got home last night? I did not. That's not my job. I saw my buddy Dave Hellman. I had a beer or two. He had to go to dinner. Saw my buddy Jimmy, who lives out here, hung out with Jesse. And then I made my way home. I let Clarence go do his stuff. He went and did media stuff. Texas Trill said, wink, wink, LOL. Love you, Jeff. I thought it was cool GP still considered Mike a teammate, especially considering they never really were teammates, Like Micah wasn't playing in the preseason. George wasn't doing nothing. So that's weird. BB said it on Doing All Right about Tiananmen. The situation I sent earlier was that the phone doesn't ring. I would find somebody else I would prefer, I would imagine. Let me see. We're at 20. I'll take Kenyon Sadiq. Take me a tight end. Maybe one of these pass rushers. Like even the pass rushers that I think Bryan hates and Botch might hate, even those guys, I think I would take them over Tiananmen. Like if you're talking about is Keldrick Falk there from Auburn, is TJ Parker there from Clemson, or are we talking about 5 pass rushers are gone? Might have taken me a wide receiver. I don't know. Micah, I think, regrets acting as he did during Oxnard. Maybe. I think being petty isn't. I don't think Micah minds being petty. I think he probably had a good time with his pettiness. He was like, okay, y'all want to mess with me? Watch me mess with y'all. This is going to be fun. And I enjoy the petty show. I do wish he was still here so we can maybe win a Super Bowl. But instead, what are we going to do? We're going to go find a bunch of players in this draft. We're going to trade down. We're going to find a bunch of players. All right. Sorry, everybody. This wasn't well planned. I just fired the link to Bryan at the standard time of Dallas time, and then he called me, and he's like, did you mean to send that at this time? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, I got this thing, and I got this thing, and I got this thing. And I was like, oh, all right. Well, I already got the room set up. I guess I'll hit go live and just see what happens. So thanks for hanging out, guys. I don't know when the other Trust the Tape will be this week, and I don't know if this even counts as Trust the Tape. But thanks for hanging out on the YouTube page with me, and thanks for hanging out in my little tiny hotel room. And now I'm going to go see if we have a continental breakfast, and then I'll see you guys on Radio Row. I love you. Remember, you have no idea what anyone's going through. Be cool to everybody. I love you. I already said that.